Well, we've been showing you these storms have made for some impressive images all around the state.
And of course, keep sending in your pictures to let us know how things looked. First one comes from Eloy Romero here in northwest Albuquerque. He captured the colors spilling across the sky at sunset. You see those storm clouds there too. Brittany in Villanueva sent in this one. Take a look at the size of the hail that fell down over there. She told us this hail was as big as golf balls. And here's a pic of the lightning from Don Armstrong in Albuquerque. Wow, he took a panoramic shot of the lightning last night in the Duke City. Don and everybody, great stuff here. If you have storm pics you want to send to us, go to krqe.com, click on the Report It tab. Please be careful when you take this stuff. You know these storms can get dangerous. Also, this is great. I did this a little bit ago before the show started. Go on to Report It on the website. You can see all the pictures everybody sent in. Some of the stuff is breathtaking. Well, now at 5:33, New Mexico Congressman Steve Pearce has a lot to say about the situation with hundreds of immigrants being held down in Artesia.
Now, this comes after the deportation of Central American women and children was put on hold due to the chickenpox virus. Pearce says 2 people with the virus have been put into isolation. He says women and children at the center are already being treated and vaccinated. He spoke with C-SPAN yesterday.
On the issue of diseases, there is credible fear there. That's one of the questions I get in Artesia a lot. What about this? They've had some suspected cases of TB.
Eastern New Mexico Regional Medical Center in Roswell will now be used to treat immigrants instead of Artesia General Hospital. Officials have not said why. The movement to lower Albuquerque's penalties for marijuana possession has hit a snag.
As we first told you yesterday morning, the group behind this idea, called Practical Policies New Mexico, learned the city gave them the wrong number of signatures needed to get that proposal on the ballot. Now the group says it's going to fight the city on this mistake.
We want to look at all of our options, and so we would love to have some more time to do this, but we also want to hold the city to the standard they gave us in the first place. You know, sort of oops, my bad doesn't cut it for people who are ready to vote for this.
Patrick Davis here, and Practical Policies New Mexico. It says the city first told them they had 60 days to get 11,203 signatures. On Tuesday, they learned the city meant to say they actually needed 14,218 signatures to qualify. That's all based on how many people voted in the last mayor's election here. The city admits, yes, it goofed because it used the wrong formula to calculate the number of signatures needed. The group says it relied on the city's calculations because the data it uses is not public. But the city says it's not the city's fault, it's the group's fault.
It seems to me that they started a petition drive without knowing how many signatures were required under the charter, which is what we asked them to do. And again, the whole nature of this direct legislation by voter initiative is it's being done outside the city processes.
So if this plan gets on the ballot and it passes, it would cut penalties for people carrying small amounts of marijuana. It would be just a $25 fine, no jail time. The group turned in 16,000 signatures, but so far we have heard many are invalid.
Sheriff investigators have arrested the man they'd been looking for in a recent death investigation in Torrance County. Last night, deputies arrested Jarrett Monjoy for the murder of his stepfather, Mark. Deputies stumbled upon the scene near Ballinger Ranch in Moriarty Friday night while on patrol. Monjoy ran into the woods when he was approached. The body was found next to the truck. Investigators are not releasing a motive or cause of death just yet. Talk about going crazy over cable rates. A Comcast customer is now out of jail this morning, accused of pulling a gun on a worker. According to the Albuquerque Journal, 48-year-old Gloria Baca Lucero is accused of pulling a gun on a Comcast worker earlier this week, all over some hidden fees. The cable worker went to the woman's home for service, and when she was told there would be a fee, the woman apparently got upset. The article states that Baca Lucero took one of the worker's tools, then she pulled out a gun. The woman was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
All right, at 5:36, it is an extreme case of animal cruelty. A warning for you. Very disturbing stuff here.
Yeah, unfortunately, witnesses watched as someone threw a kitten from a moving truck. The kitten survived here and is now at a clinic, and the veterinarian is basically nursing the kitten back to health. That's the good thing. Sam, the cat, is resting up. The veterinarian at Bosque Animal Clinic in Bosque Farm says that Sam hit a brick wall on Camelot Boulevard in Los Lunas when he was thrown. Now, it is not clear who would do such a thing, but the cat was pretty banged up.
In my opinion, elbow fractures are probably one of the worst types of fractures you can get. They're very painful. Because of his age and cost in the factor, it's been decided to amputate.
Oh, poor thing. Well, Sam is scheduled for surgery on Friday, and the veterinarian says if all goes well, listen, Sam already has a home lined up.
Looks like there's some good people out there trying to help out with Sam. Well, kids at the Children's Cancer Fund of New Mexico are set to get a big surprise today. For the last month, Albuquerque police officers have been collecting school supplies, gift cards, backpacks, and more for kids with cancer. And today, the officers will surprise the kids with everything they gathered. And as you may know, as we told you just a few minutes ago, as a matter of fact, tax-free weekend here in New Mexico is this weekend. And one big box store is piling on even more savings. Walmart announced this morning it's going to cut the cost of electronics and gadgets starting tomorrow. And it'll have its own version of Cyber Monday on Monday the 4th, with discounts on back-to-school things such as smartphones and clothing. I never got a smartphone to go back to school. And stick around tomorrow here on KRQE News This Morning. We're going to take a look at everything that's on the tax-free weekend list. It includes some very interesting ones. And you know, a lot of other stores have sales, and a lot of local stores too have sales as well, particularly on clothing and stuff like that.
It's going to be a busy weekend out there at the stores.
No doubt.